Alrighty, order of operations, PEMDAS. If you do not remember, PEMDAS here, I have it written possibly a little bit differently than how you've seen it before. There's parentheses. We do everything inside the parentheses first in a math equation. Then after that, we do anything dealing with exponents. And as you also will learn, we won't see any in this one, but if you have square roots, that happens at the same time. Then after that, we multiply and divide from left to right. We don't have to multiply before we divide. We just start the left-hand side of the equation and go left to right. Multiply and divide. Same thing with adding and subtracting. And the reason why I have these two, multiply, divide, and add, subtract, on the same line is because they have the same priority. They get to go at the same time as each other. Multiply doesn't necessarily have to come before division. And I'll show you that here in just a moment. And you might say, well, Mr. White, why do we have two problems here? They're the exact same thing. Well, I'm going to show you what happens if you do it right and also what happens if you do it wrong. So let's first look at how we do the problem correctly. We have to do everything within the parentheses first. So I'm just going to write everything else out so that I don't make any mistakes. These are not in the parentheses, so I don't do anything. But here, I have to do everything inside the parentheses first. So I go through, are there any parentheses inside the parentheses? No. Are there any exponents or square roots? No. How about multiplication or division? Yes, there is. So we go left to right in the multiplication division. This is a 1 times 3, so it's 4 minus 3. And then we still have to finish everything up inside the parentheses, adding and subtracting. So we subtract 4 minus 3 is going to be 1. Well, now I've finished off all the parentheses, so we're done with that. Are there any exponents or square roots? No. Do we have to multiply or divide? Yes. 3 times 2 is 6. So now we're just left with 6 plus 1, which is 7. So that's correct. Let's say if we did this problem incorrectly, though. Let's say if I just did everything from left to right. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 4 minus 1 is 3 times 3, and then we got 6 plus 9, and 6 plus 9 is 15. Well, those are two totally different answers. So it's important that we do this correctly. We have to do it in the order, parentheses, exponents and square roots, multiplication and division, and also addition and subtraction. So let's say that you wanted to see one of these problems with the multiplication and division in it. So let's say that I have 6 divided by 2 times 4 plus 1 times 3. So what this means is I go through, are there any parentheses? No. So we're done with that part. How about exponents or square roots? No. So now we do multiplication and division from left to right. So the first thing, I start here at the left-hand side, and I see 6 divided by 2. Well, that's 3. And I'm just going to write everything out. Once you get better at this, you don't have to write every single part out, but it's very helpful at the beginning until you practice this enough that you write out each little step, because it's really easy to make a simple little math error here. So we do 6 divided by 2 is 3, and then I just write down the rest of the problem. Everything went down just like normal. So I keep going left to right with the multiplication and division. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 1 times 3. And then here's another multiplication. 1 times 3 is 3. So then we add them together and we get 15. Well, quickly here, what happened if I had done this problem incorrectly and I did all the multiplication first? We'd have 6 divided by 2 times 4 is 8. 1 times 3 is 3. So I'd have to do 6 divided by 8. That's going to be a decimal. That's actually going to be 0.75. So you'd end up getting 3.75. Well, that's not right. So you have to make sure that we do it from left to right in each of these steps. Multiplication and division, just left to right. And that's it. That's the order of operations.